In this project we're going to create a high dynamic range image, sometimes referred to as HDR. We're going to combine two exposures. I've opened the two project TIFFs from the DVD, Project 6 HDR01 and HDR02, which has the darker exposure for the sky. Where we can kick off this project is to use a new feature for Photoshop Elements 8. Come up to the File menu, to choose New, and then come over to Photomerge Exposure. Photomerge Exposure will automatically align the two or multiple images that you have that you want to merge the exposures with. Here, Adobe Photoshop Elements has analyzed and aligned the images. I want to choose the automatic option for merging the exposures, and I'm going to blend in using the Smart Blending option, maximum amount of highlight detail and also maximum amount of shadow detail. So we'll be using 100% on both of these two images. You can play around with the saturation as well. If you want to lower the saturation here or increase the saturation, we do have a small amount of control here. And now I can click the Done in the bottom right hand corner of the Photomerge Exposure controls. After Photomerge Exposure has aligned and merged the two images, we can flatten the image out. Use the keyboard shortcut Command E on a Mac or Control E on a PC. And this will flatten the project into one single background layer. We can then duplicate this layer by going Command J on a Mac or Control J on a PC to duplicate this layer. I now want to remove the color. Use the keyboard shortcut Control Shift U on a PC or Command Shift U on a Mac. We then want to come up to the Enhance menu and come down to Adjust Lighting, Shadows, Highlights. Let's adjust the light and shadows to 100%. And we'll do the same again with dark and highlights 100% and mid-tone contrast 100%. And then select OK. The image looks a little bit strange at the moment, but what we're going to do is we're going to merge or combine this with the background layer using one of the blend modes. I'm going to choose the Soft Light blend mode for this project. Let's zoom in and take a look at what we've achieved. Okay, we've got quite a lot of crunchy mid-tone contrast here. Let's take a look at before and after by clicking on the visibility of layer 1. Here it is before and here it is after. This is often called a HDR treatment or faux HDR. Okay, so let's move this project along by enhancing the sky in this image. I notice with the faux HDR effect we're getting a little bit of a halo kicking off from the top of these rocks. Okay, and I want to disguise this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch off the layer 1 visibility and select the background layer. I'm now going to move over to the Tools panel and choose the Quick Selection tool. And I'm going to drag this with the Auto Enhance feature switched on in the options bar over the sky area in order to select the sky of the background layer. I'm now going to copy this to the clipboard, Command C on a Mac or Control C on a PC. And then Command V on a Mac or Control V on a PC to paste it onto a new layer. We'll put this new layer into a blend mode called Multiply to darken the sky off. We still have a little bit of that halo kicking off from around these rocks, and if we want to disguise this, there's a clever technique we can use. Let's pick up this selection once again. Hold down the Command key on a Mac or the Control key on a PC and click on the Layer 2 thumbnail to load the sky as a selection. We're then going to come up to the Select menu and choose Modify Border. Here I'm going to choose a width of 200 pixels, which is consistent with the amount of the halo that's kicking off from these rocks, and again I'll select OK. We've now restricted the selection to just the border area of this sky. We're going to soften this off by returning once again to the Select menu and choosing Feather. I'm going to choose a feather value of around about a quarter of the border radius that I have going here. That's a feather radius of around 50 pixels for this project. And again I'll select OK. We're going to copy the pixels from this layer 2 again to the clipboard, Command C on a Mac or Control C on a PC. And then we'll paste them onto another new layer, Command V on a Mac or Control V on a PC. Okay, we're going to use that same blend mode again to darken, but before we do that we're going to group this with the layer below. Hold down the Alt key on a PC or the Option key on a Mac and then click on the dividing line between these two layers. Okay, and now let's put this new layer into the blend mode, multiplied to darken once again. Okay, as you can see quite clearly, we've now darkened off the pixels around the top edge of the rock in order to darken them off. We do have some unwanted darkening up here in the sky, and so what we're going to do is we're going to remove that using the Eraser tool. Click on the Eraser tool in the Tools panel and then choose Brush for the mode. Choose a nice soft edge brush from the brush picker here. I've chosen a 300 pixel soft round brush. And I'm going to come into the image and then remove the darkening from this area of the image along the side and the top and the right hand side of this image. But I'm going to leave the darkening process along the rim of the pixels along the top edge of the rocks here. If this is a little bit dark, we can always adjust the opacity down slightly of this layer until the halo is non-existent or has disappeared. Let's switch the visibility of the top layer back on. Command or Control click on layer 2 to load the selection of the sky once again. And then with layer 3 selected, create a levels adjustment layer. Invert the layer mask, Command I or Control I on a PC. And then create a clipping mask between layer 1 and the levels 1 adjustment layer by holding down the Alt Option key and then clicking between the dividing line of the two layers. Okay, what we have now is the foreground HDR effect from layer 1 with the sky from the layers below.